I think there's a kind of search that every human being is on in some form to find a way out of suffering and towards, at least in some cases, towards what we intuit to be the possibility of love and joy and freedom, and may have tasted to some degree or other. And that search can take many forms, everything from trying to achieve it through career success or better and better cars or more and more shopping or alcohol, highs and lows. So in a sense, it is all part of the same search to get away from what's painful and find our way towards something that we want. But we sort of look in all the wrong places for a long time usually. I think what we finally realize is that pain is part of being a living organism. And it depends on how we use the word suffering, but certainly things that we could call suffering, losing all one's possessions, losing one's loved ones, losing parts of one's body, losing things and being hurt is part of being human. It's part of the human experience. And what I've come to, and what I think most spiritual paths in one way or another come to, is that the way out of suffering isn't to try to get out of it, but to go through it. I think that's really what the crucifixion, to me, is just a symbolic myth. But that's the image of the crucifixion that leads to the resurrection. That we go through the suffering rather than trying to avoid it. Trying to avoid it is a way of increasing it, actually. And I really discovered that on my first Zen sessions, these week-long Zen sittings where you just sat there at the time in the half lotus position, for a whole week, and you're in a tremendous amount of physical pain after a while in your knees and hips and so on, and your back. And I discovered that when I was trying to escape the pain, it got worse and worse. If I was sitting there with thoughts like, I can't stand this is going to kill me, what if it gets worse, and trying to resist it, it would get worse and worse and worse. And when I was able to just completely open to it and allow it, and even be interested in it, and go right into the pain with consciousness and awareness, and just what is this, and just experiencing it on the level of sensation and energy and vibration, then all of a sudden it was completely bearable and often interesting. And I would notice that it wasn't a solid thing, that it would be there and then it would go away and then it would come back and it would vary. So, and I think that is equally true of emotional pain, in things like anxiety and depression and those kinds of sufferings, that by trying to escape them, we make them worse. And when we can finally just really be with them, then there's a different possibility that opens up.